Today's AskReddit post. How did you turn your life around? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. I decided to stop comparing myself to my brother and try to focus on the improvable. God, I wish I could do that. I'm the big brother, I should have my shit together. I have to disagree with you. I figured recently that nobody really has their shit together at any age. Some people are just better at pretending. You got this, king. Well, maybe not in some area, but he is doing much better than me. He has a stable job which he makes quite a bit of money. He bought his house and he is in the process of buying a 6-apartment building. As a brother who compares himself in a similar regard, I think it's important to remember that no matter what the comparison looks like or how you perceive it, a great point of view to adopt is he's doing his thing and I'm doing mine. Proud of him. Proud of me. It's when you're not or no longer proud of yourself that you consider personal change. It's familiar to look over and feel bad about one or two comparisons. But a great thing about being an individual is 1. It's not a competition, and 2. Nobody else can replace you or your contributions to the world. The value of a human soul is intangible. It'd be nice to have equal or superior qualities compared to your brother, but that would remove from your individuality and individual contributions. If you and your brother's relationship is stable, perhaps he can offer advice or at least boost your confidence on the matter. TLDR. Instead of classic, brotherly comparison, encourage acknowledging that individuals all have valuable, individual qualities that they should be proud of. I asked for help. Good for you. Such a hard step to take. Thanks a lot. It really is. My mama said it was so hard watching and waiting for me to ask for help. But once I made that phone call, bet your ass she was at my door with a moving truck the very next day and helped me get the duck out of Dodge before I died. I don't know what I'd do without that support system. I'm glad you have it too. Best wishes on life continuing to get better and better. You have a good mama. When I was a teenager, I was homeless. A lot of places wouldn't hire me because I had no experience or interview clothes. I went to the Board of Education and begged the HR lady to give me a chance at any job. I told her I'd scrub the school with a toothbrush if they paid me. They made me a general sub for clerical. I took a call for one of the bad neighborhood schools that some others turned down. Walked across town to get there every day. I had to start walking at 4:30 AM to be on time. I wore dress clothes from a church mission that were way too big, but I did my best. After 4 months they gave me a long-term position, then a permanent one with benefits. I saved up enough for an apartment. Finding a landlord okay with renting to an 18-year-old homeless girl was hard, and started college. I haven't been homeless a day since in the last 15 years. I even have a house now. Amazing to hear this. Probably weird to hear this from a stranger, but I am proud of you. People like you motivate me. I get so happy for people as well. Quit a job that wasn't making me happy. Went back to college. Just literally handed in my notice at my shitty office job during a global pandemic tanking economy to go back to college this September. I'm 29 and scared shitless. This has given me hope. Were you an accountant, by the way? Also, what are you getting into? I was a staff accountant on Mayo. Quit 2 weeks ago because I hated my boss and company. What make you ask that question? BTW. Edit. Not OP edit 2. Meant BTW. Not for your information. I too ducking hate my job. That's what made me ask it. If you go to the sub you just see it everywhere. Mayo. I quit drinking when I was 24, went back to college when I was 26 and graduated at 29. Fucking needed this. I hope this is my timeline. I'm 24 and 166 days sober. Congratulations. You absolutely can do this. Just one foot in front of the other. I'm proud of you, stranger. Clapping hands. Clapping hands. Clapping hands. Clapping hands. Clapping hands. Keep it up. It's so worth it. Alcohol only takes. It never adds anything worthwhile to your life. I took my last drink of alcohol 2,079 days ago. Good for you. I know that you're genuine, but reading that it looks like you're being so sarcastic. Face with tears of joy. LOL. Good for you has turned into a sarcastic phrase over the years. Reading more and using social media less. I'm almost at the point where I can just delete Reddit. Almost. Reddit can be a good support system. Just don't argue in useless threads. That's the biggest trap in toxic social media. I'll argue all I want to, thank you very much. You got a problem with that? Like hell you will. I came here for an argument. Stopped caring about things I can't control and put all my energy into the things I can. It sounds hard, but there's actually a lot you can control and that doesn't leave much room for the other shit. I want to start doing this too. Can you share examples? I grew up in South Florida during the beginning of the opioid craziness. From 2006 to 2011 things got pretty bad. I'm 2011 I sold my last possession, my car, for $800, packed 2 suitcases and bought a bus ticket to Denver. Never been to Denver. Didn't know anyone there, but weed was starting to be legal and I didn't want to miss out. I detoxed on the bus going from Florida to Colorado. Do not recommend. I got lucky and ended up sitting next to a guy that was a grower and needed help in his garden. I didn't know it at the time, but on the Greyhound he said I had an 8-hour job interview. Got to Denver and he really helped me get established. Within 2 months I was sleeping on his couch and learning how to grow. Haven't touched a painkiller since I got on that bus almost 9.5 years ago, and now I'm married, homeowner, decent car, and working my dream job in the cannabis industry. It's not for everyone. But I literally went from homeless sticking needles in my arm to living a life better than I could have ever imagined. When you said lucky for you the guy next to you was a grower, I thought this story was going somewhere else. He's a grower, not a shower. Turns out he wasn't a shower. He was just a douche. Realized there was more to life than partying and waking up hungover all the time. Edit. I still think it's good to go out and have fun, but just make sure to do it in moderation. It's easy to get caught up in that life and forget what's truly important, like friends and family and taking care of yourself. Goddamn, I want to stop drinking so bad. Stop drinking is a great place to start. More like a great place to stop. My man. Paid off my debts slowly but surely and worked my ass off to buy a house. Took years, but it was worth it. Getting there myself. The debt part anyway. Would be faster if I wasn't paying my way through grad school, but I should be debt free with a master's degree in 2 years. Left the cult. Edited to add that I for the awards and upvotes ever Reddit. Bad news is you came back to Reddit. Yes, but this is probably a slightly better cult. Would disagree. Sorry, but disagreement is against official cult policy. I'm afraid I'm going to have to downvote you for this. Realized my quest to find love wouldn't fix anything wrong with me. Stopped manipulating and using men to try to fill the void in my soul. Treated men like people instead of tools. Actually fell in love and am married to the most wonderful person I've ever met. Edit. Thanks so much for the awards. I grew up believing that getting married and marrying the right man was the greatest thing I could achieve for my life. As a woman, my ambitions were for my future husband's career and for the children I would have with him. Therefore I threw myself into relationships, erasing my personality to land the guy that checked all the boxes. Surprise. Surprise, none of those relationships worked out. Finally realized I hadn't been happy in any of them and decided to just be happy with myself. Fell into a relationship naturally a year later and have been together for 10+ years. Edit. Thank you to everyone who identified with this comment. Some have asked about being happy with yourself, and for me it required being single for a while. Now that I am not trying to impress anyone or feign interest in their interests, and I am not filling every waking moment with finding the next person, what do I actually want to do with my time? And then once I answered that, I met someone who liked me for a me that I actually liked. People also asked why women might feel this way. I can only speak for myself. But I was raised in a family where the man worked and the wife stayed home and raised the children. All of my grandmothers and aunts all did the same. It was just all I saw. Working was for women who had no other choice to support themselves or as a small-time supplement for the family. The outside world reinforced it as well. The way my teachers and others made certain options appear out of reach for women. Even the fairy tales all seem to end with a wedding. Did something similar. However, we knew each other for 15 years and didn't do anything about it. The moment we found out the feelings, it's just been one step after another and I'm so happy. This is the one. I wasn't happy. Lost weight. Shaved head. Got tattoos. Travel more. Complain less. Everything I do is for myself. I have a long way to go. If it's me trying to impress someone, it never sticks. You have to want to do it yourself. Two people so far apart, yet I feel the joy in your heart. It takes time. Start today, it will take X amount of days. Start tomorrow, it takes X plus 1. Find what makes you happy no matter how insignificant. I never pictured today me a year ago. Self-reflection and self-awareness are key. That's completely right. Lost a lot of weight and the compliments and amazement of people is a great motivation boost. If you do it right, you'll have changes noticeable to people that know you well, and a year in others will probably as well. Most importantly, I'm much healthier. I can run up 2 flights of stairs without getting winded. Also more successful with women. It's a mix of increased confidence and simply being easier in a lower weight bracket. I waited so long since I thought it was too late already. Didn't know how very wrong I was. I heavily reduced sugar when I was 21 and started resistance training. 2 years later and I am feeling the best I have ever felt. Have so much energy and self-confidence because I actually like the way I look now. Clothes fit so much better as well. I've been trying to do this. It's been difficult because my grandmother, who I currently live with, keeps a lot of junk food in the house and not as many fruits and vegetables. That would be really difficult. Having sugar in the house is just so dangerous. It's too easy a temptation. Sugar, I swear, is more addictive than some illicit narcotics out there. It took me a while to break up with sugar. I haven't cut it out completely, that's almost impossible, but I really have started being mindful and reading nutrition labels before buying anything. I get most of my sugar from fruit now. I work with drug addicts, and the way I often explain drug addiction to people who don't get it is to compare it with sugar. Most people have tried to cut out sugar or even diet at some point in their lives and failed, and I find it helps people understand a little bit more. Caffeine works well too when talking about withdrawals. Moving out of my parents' house. I was living with my parents, which is very common thing in India, until end of my med school. I've been in my comfort zone all my life and had everything I need. That led to depression and I wanted to live by myself and to get out of my bubble. Now I can't say I figured it all, but I definitely feel better. This seems to be an Indian thing. I'm in South Africa, but my parents want me to get married first before moving out. But like you, I'm craving independence. So tired of answering to other people. Also, I don't want to get married and let that be my first experience of living alone. My wife would think I'm useless. Also, I don't want to get married and let that be my first experience of living alone. My wife would think I'm useless. This is so thoughtful to your future spouse. Please do live alone for at least a year. Learn what it takes to run a household. Keep up your own appointments. Remember your own family's birthdays and special events expectations. You need to have all of these things down to have an equal partnership in the future. Lost 15 kilos. Edit. No, it wasn't cocaine. I was 12. Pretty sure I lost around 10 kilograms of cum. Border Patrol? Maybe Coast Guard. Can confirm. Kilos on a scuttled go fast. 10 pounds in boot camp and that boat hook off the side in Bonaire. If I told you where, I'd die in red hot shame from that damn fire coral. Quite recently, I deleted Facebook. Deleted Instagram and Snapchat. I now only use Twitter and Reddit. I stopped making an effort to those who don't for me. I cut out the toxic people in my life and I surrounded myself with positivity and care. I've deleted Snapchat and Instagram. I'm keeping Facebook cause there's certain people I can only talk to on there, but I'm trying not to check it so much, or even Twitter and Reddit. How do you motivate yourself to stop looking at social media all the damn time? For me, turning off all notifications help. Out of sight, out of mind. If it's habit-based checking, remove the icon from an easy to get to location to somewhere more difficult. Sometimes, making things a little bit harder and more manual allows time for your brain to catch itself and say you don't need to do that. You don't have to cut it all out right away. Just try and reduce the addiction. Maybe when you feel like digging for it, put the phone down and walk clean. Eventually, you just don't bother to care unless it's something important for you to check. Say, messaging a family member or wishing someone happy birthday. This was really one of the best options to ever do. Turned off all my notifications a few months ago. My phone only lightens up when I receive a call. People can wait for you. You don't have to reply every single ducking second. Love it. Find a 1996 Honda Civic with a clean title and low miles. Honda Civic. You have acquired lethal dose of ketamine. You will buy now. No, that would be if it was a 2001 Honda Civic. Gave Facebook, TikTok, etc. a week off, then 2 weeks, then never went back. But not Reddit, lol. Reddit is so different for me. I don't actually know anyone here in real life, so there's no pressure. I can follow whatever I want and my feed is filled with puppies and kittens and ducks and cows and it makes me so happy. And there's actual interesting things, discussions to delve into. I feel this. I got Reddit to replace Facebook because it just gave me bad anxiety, but IRL why don't have any negative feelings with Reddit. Mostly the same story here, except I would caution those with depression against too much r-miral or r/2miral 4miral content. During my peak depression I was constantly on those subreddits, and I don't think it was healthy. I think it helped reinforce negative thoughts. Getting off those subs, except the occasional visit for a laugh, was a surprisingly big part of me getting better. Went to a sober living and got clean. Decided it's okay to put yourself first no matter what. I don't mean that go ahead and cheat and lie for your benefits. For example, I was seeing this toxic person for some time and I was the one always compromising and making efforts. When things finally ended, I chose to cut off all contact from that person while they wanted to remain in touch for support or validation. I felt bad and selfish while doing it, but starting to feel better about myself now that that person is out of my life. You need to be selfish if the other person is being selfish too. Affix your own oxygen mask first. Exactly. Started going to therapy. Slowly realized that I have to think about myself too. Started going to gym. Setting boundaries. Eating foods I like, and every day I tried to do one thing that made me happy. And I finally got the courage to go to school and study something I actually like. Resetting boundaries is a big problem for me in my current relationship. I have a feeling that once they are set, I can't reset them without hurting the other person. May I ask, how did you manage to overcome this? While I'm not the one you're asking, I've gone through a similar transition. Went to therapy to learn why I wasn't taking care of myself. I spent a lot of time trying to gain the courage to speak up about my needs. It felt like the world would collapse and everyone would leave me if I did. 2 years later, I've managed to leave that one-sided relationship and have realized that my real friends actually respect me more. Once I finally made a decision, I felt so much calmer and at peace with myself. I've not met someone else, but I know that when the time comes, I'm ready to love them while also going for what I want in life. It's going to be great. Stopped smoking weed. Good choice. Me too. I love to be stoned, but I realized it doesn't help me reaching my goals. I've been smoking once every couple of weeks, Fridays or Saturdays only, for a couple of years now. It's a nice little treat that I look forward to sometimes, but if it became more regular, yeah, I can see how that would be a problem. Like drinking or anything else really. Taking vitamin D3 for a bad deficiency and quitting my job with a verbally abusive boss to better my mental health. Hey, crazy. I just got back from the store where I got my supplements package. I tested with severe deficiency. I don't go out much and I hate the sun. When I go out it's only during the evening and night time past 6 PM. I ordered D3 and K3. Vitamin D and K with plant-based iodine and plant-based omega-3. Hope these will help. There are tons of stuff, but I basically never ate fish that much even when I used to eat meat. Taking vitamin D really helps. Years ago my doctor prescribed prescription strength vitamin D because I was so deficient. Apparently they no longer do that. After a few weeks I felt so much better. I hope you will too. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.